So, hey,
gentlemen, please remove your caps. Please replace your caps and sit down.
Welcome to our families, community members, distinguished guests, faculty members, and most importantly, our students of the class of 2010. I would like to acknowledge our faculty members here today, including your deans, who have been supportive of you over the last 4 years, that are here today to celebrate your achievements. We have over 40 faculty members that are here for you today. We have 7 teachers who are retiring this year, and I would like to acknowledge those teachers who have dedicated their careers to CHS. Rebecca Nordengren, Marilyn Steele, Ed Rubin, Jutta Simaglu, Risa Dubin, Mary Deislinger, and Janet Vivas. Thank you. I would also like to point out your class advisors, Mr. Blagg and Ms. Haywood. They have done so much to make your class one of the most successful classes at CHS. To the class of 2010, you are from Chelmsford, and no one should be prouder. You have been fortunate enough to be a part of a school and a community who has supported all the opportunities of success throughout the last 4 years at Chelmsford High School. Just look at the number of scholarships your community groups have given your students, our students, as indicated in your graduation program. The leadership of this class has made its mark on history of our school. Your community should be proud of the wonderful sequence of events over this last year and how the class of 2010 made sure that every event was the best. Every event from the junior cotillion to the senior banquet last evening, your class left its mark as one of the best events in history. You have made us proud. In every area from athletics, activities, and most importantly, academics, you have achieved amazing goals. Okay. We're here. Once again, in every area of athletics, activities, and most importantly, academics, you have achieved amazing goals. The administration has been fortunate enough to have shared all of your successes, such as Almost Maine, breaking an 82-year record of success in theater, and Mr. CHS, a sellout, Spirit Week, a complete success, and your senior week, nothing but outstanding, okay? However, what has been most impressive for me has been the character of your class. All of you who have made mistakes have been respectful, apologetic, and sorry that you have disappointed your administration. When the acts of a few have threatened population of our students, you as a class stood up and made a statement that CHS will not tolerate negativity. Real character is much more obvious when things are difficult rather than when we have success. Taking ownership of your mistakes and standing up to negativity are the real tests of character, and your parents should be proud. As a class, you have taken on every challenge possible, whether it's a need for a blood drive, food pantry, pajamas for the homeless families, or funds for cancer research. You have been most generous. When Mrs. Doak's class started the Be the Change, you all took the challenge and made a difference in the world. We thank you for that. You've all grown from freshmen to amazing young adults ready to be active members in your community. Karen Shu wrote this about one of her teachers who made a difference in her life. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Feel like I'm at the relay. I quote, "Miss Sullivan's dedication to her students and to Chelmsford High School has influenced and motivated me always to be ready for new experiences and to jump to new opportunities, whether they are in or outside of the classroom. Her influence changed my sense of humor for the better and has made me a much more positive person. I entered Chelmsford High School as a timid young girl, and I will exit as a confident individual. Karen's respectful and appreciative tone is reflective of the class of 2010, and Chelmsford High School staff is proud of you. So before you go, class of 2010, remember the experiences offered you to Chelmsford High School. Continue in the next stages of your life to remember the lessons learned about your commitment, compassion, respect, and appreciation. You have made your mark here, and no one could be prouder. Thank you for that." So much fun to get wet in the rain. I would like to introduce our salutatorian, Sanyukta Inamda. Sanyukta? Here you go. Thank you.
Good evening, students, parents, and faculty. I would like to share with you a remarkable and wonderful experience that I recently had. I was on my way home from a walk when my dog dragged me to the Harrington School playground. There were a million things I had to do when I got home, so I had no intention of walking him for an extra 10 minutes. I was exasperated, but then I saw one of my old friends, the swings. I wondered what would happen if I went on. Would they recognize my age and refuse to lift me? Well, once I started pumping my legs, I was utterly surprised. Suddenly, I was lifted higher and higher, falling into the blue sky. Initially, I could feel my heart in my stomach. I was not used to the swings anymore. I had grown up and slowly forgotten about them. Now, however, I felt so liberated. At the top of my arc, I felt as though anything was possible, as though I could overcome any adversity, just because I thought I could. On the swings, I could be anything I wanted, and nobody could tell me otherwise. I knew parents were looking at me, and I could hear a little boy pointing at me and wailing hysterically, "Scary!" But I didn't care. From my childhood experience, I knew how to make myself fly on the swings. Yet, I felt as though this was my first time on the swings. It was my enthusiasm and excitement that made this experience bliss. As we age, we get so caught up in our daily lives that we forget to see the small miracles around us. For students, papers must be finished, tests must be taken, teachers must teach certain material, adults stress out about presentations and cooking dinner, and are haunted by taxes and blood pressure. The list continues on and on. These tasks are obligations, and we complete them mindlessly like organic robots. At the same time, there's no time to enjoy simple pleasures. The swings lie dormant, only awaken memories. In essence, Everything we do is so artificial, so mechanical, there's no real feeling in anything that we do. This passion that makes us human, it's vanished. As I look at myself and my classmates, I can hardly recognize them from childhood. Where was the little girl who so joyfully added numbers in her head? The imaginative boy who wrote stories that made everyone hold their breath? Where's this exuberance that we possessed? Has it disappeared forever? Luckily, this real emotion sleeps inside of us. It's just suppressed deep within. We complain about how difficult our lives are with the amount of work we have to do. How can we possibly find joy in work? It's monotonous, and we dream about faraway exotic lands. Truly, though, it is our mind that locks us up, but our mind and heart that can set us free. The mind teaches us from experience. We remember how to light a Bunsen burner, but it is our heart that can truly appreciate the miracle of the delicate blue flame. Though we are familiar with the concepts, we must experience every lesson, be it academic or social, with the same exuberance as though it is the first time we've ever experienced it. On the swings, my memory suddenly went back to Mrs. Cotter's first grade class. To the first day we were assigned homework, ever. We bragged about our workloads, saying, well, I got 2 pages of homework. You only got 1. We're the tougher class. Homework seemed to be a privilege because it represented for us the older kids in school, the 3rd and 4th graders. We wanted the responsibility that the older children were granted, so in order to prove ourselves, we carefully recorded our answers in black, bloated lettering. Homework was a novelty, and at least I did it with zest. Now, as I descended towards the ground, I thumped back to the present. Now we want to strangle whoever decides to overload our platter with schoolwork. But can we regain our childish zest? Whether you are a student, a teacher, a parent, a grandparent, remember the joy of childhood. Anything you do, you must love it like you did when you were a child. Wherever you may go, conjure your inner first grader. You want to be like the 3rd graders, and everything is a new experience. Do not pretend to feel. Instead, conjure up love and zest with all your might. I know this passion, this emotion, is inside all of us here. Take this passion and learn to the fullest and just love what you learn. To my fellow students, tackle this new journey the way a first grader would, with passion and fearlessness. Your college will be your new playground. Your work will be your new playground. Embrace your new environment fully, and remember, just remember to have a blast. Congratulations to all. I wish everyone continued their success. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Could I have Connor Wilkins, your vice president, come to the...
Good thing the sun came out, huh? So I'm here to present our class gift. And when we sat down as officers and class reps to discuss what we wanted to give as a class, we wanted something that really signified who we were as a class. And one thing we all agreed upon was that we're all passionate about our sports here. And not just playing sports, but loud and proud of football games, going crazy at hockey games, and especially my personal favorite, 7th man at volleyball games. So when we were inside Conrad Gymnasium, we looked around to find something that just felt kind of out of place, and that was the name board that showed off our students. It was really outdated and has mismatched names, and I know personally as a player, it's really hard to get that thing up there. So as a class gift from the class 2010, we are getting a brand new name board for the Conrad Memorial Gymnasium so we can have other classes become just as passionate about our sports teams as we were and still are to this day.
Thank you to the class of 2010. I would like to introduce the class president, Kevin Tang.
To my fellow students, athletes, leaders, performers, musicians, composers, writers, scientists, graduates. But most importantly, friends. We live in a world which defines us not by who we are or how much money we have, but by what we do. No matter what road we decide to take in the near future, we must always incorporate what we've learned in the past and apply them to the dreams we hope to achieve. While the future seems vast with countless opportunities, we must not hesitate to achieve all that we have aspired to do. After this moment, the world will be watching us, but not like a science fiction novel where Big Brother is always watching and controlling, but rather monitoring our decisions to hold us accountable for our actions. No longer will we get out of a speeding ticket due to lack of experience. No longer will we be granted an extra day to hand in homework assignments. No longer will it be considered acceptable to roller skate around high school carrying a massive flag and wearing a giant crown hat. At this very moment, when we lay our antsy fingers on our diplomas that we worked 18 years to earn, we will not only be ending our high school career, but also beginning a new segment of our lives for which we are now in control. This day marks a moment where we are finally free to make our own decisions. Although I achieved my legal independence when I turned 18 back in November, not until I received my certificate, which marks the completion of my secondary education, will I finally be free to choose my own path in life. Free to choose the college I want to attend. Free to choose the subject field I want to study. Free to choose the meals that I want to eat and the transportation I need to take in order to get those meals. Our independence from our teachers, our parents, and our school system is the first step into taking our own initiative towards our own success. While they will always be there to support you, we cannot rely on them to help us through every step of our lives. Wherever the road takes us, there are sure to be consequences for our actions, positive or negative. When these consequences are out of our own control, we must understand that the decisions made for us and how to deal with them. Sometimes, people may cut us some slack to help us grow. Sometimes, people may be harsh and at times unfair to ensure that we learn our lessons. At all times, we must learn to play the cards that we are dealt and learn from the consequences, regardless of the circumstances. The way we deal with the consequences will not only reflect upon ourselves as human beings, but every single person that helped us grow to where we are today. Even though you may be considered independent after today, others will constantly rely on you in every action you make for the rest of your lives. Each individual who helped you succeed, who helped you graduate today, is counting on you to overcome any obstacles with grace. They have passed on their knowledge to you so that you can apply it to your own decisions in order to fulfill your goals. It is up to you, and only you, to succeed in these goals and to live up to the standards of those who have supported and taught you. Although you may be independent, the consequences of your actions, good or bad, will reflect on the people that helped you get to where you are today. So the next time you want to give up on a goal, don't think about how it will affect you. Think about how it will affect the family, the friends, and the mentors that gave you the opportunity to pursue those goals, because it will affect them too. As Newton's third law of motion states, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When applied to society, it encompasses the idea of the domino effect. Hypothetically, if one student sitting out in this very field achieves success beyond what fame and money can measure, the ramifications of those actions can potentially be astounding. Soon, articles will be written, presentations will be made, classes will be taught, books will be published, and legends will be told, all due to that one achievement. In reflection, such chain of events creates an umbrella of success, which covers all involved. The legend told will be about that one person who accomplished that one goal, who lived in Chelmsford, who went to Chelmsford High School. With that one achievement, the achiever is not only making a name for him or herself, but for Chelmsford High School and the town of Chelmsford as a whole. So I challenge every single one of you, achieve. Make yourself look good. Make your family look good. Make Chelmsford High School look good. And hey, if you want, you can make me look good too. Congratulations, Chelmsford High School class of 2010. I know all of you have the potential to do great things. It's just a matter of taking the first step. Thanks, Mom, Dad, Heather, Catherine, Chelmsford High School faculty, the students, my friends, the officers, the codename Kid Next Door Boys, and everyone else that supported me. It's really been one heck of a ride. Thank you very much.
If I could have Rebecca Wong come to the podium, your Vice President.
The class of 2010 is an incredible class, and I am so honored to be part of such a respected group of individuals. We should be proud of all that we have accomplished and our undeniable dedication to Chelmsford High School. I have had the privilege of growing with you all during our high school journey. It has been an amazing experience that I would never take for granted. It is my honor to present this gavel to the class of 2011 President, Michael Kelly. We wish you and the class of 2011 great success in the future and are positive that you will keep the school spirit alive. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you, Becca. And congratulations to the class of 2010 for all the success you've had the past 4 years here at CHS. You've been much more than just a senior class here at Chelmsford High School. You've been leaders, role models, and most importantly, friends. You have left such an imprint and impression upon this school, you will not easily be forgotten. As you sit here, you are on top of the world. You look around you and you see those who have shared this journey with you. You see those who have helped you along the way and those you have helped back. You look ahead and you see the challenges and experiences that await you. Those challenges can be faced another day, those experiences experienced another day. For now, you just sit on top of the world with those who can share this moment with you. It is a moment to be proud of. You have left big shoes for the class of 2011 to fill, but I know we will do our very best to not only fill them, but to exceed all expectations. So once more, congratulations to the class of 2010, and may you all have the best in luck of whatever endeavors are ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Yeoman, your Superintendent of Schools.
And it's my pleasure to introduce the chair of the school committee, Kathy Duffett.
Thank you. Congratulations to the members of the class of 2010. This is a great and special moment in your lives. The last few months, I'm sure, have been a frantic pace of completing so many tasks, so many to-dos, college applications, exams, last games, concerts, plays, and community service, all with this goal in mind, graduation. And I encourage you now to focus on this moment, to truly embrace every facet of this day. The rain, the rainbow, I'm sure, will be here in a moment. Your friends, your classmates, the family who has loved you, and the support of this community who has financially supported you through all these years. Breathe in this moment. Sear it in your memory. Appreciate it and all of your accomplishments. Take your minds off what you have to do, what must be accomplished, and enjoy right now. Make it a moment in your life. And if you continue to embrace and enjoy these separate moments of your life, you will truly be fulfilled. You will enjoy your accomplishments. You will be fortified by your past, enjoy your present, and be prepared for future accomplishments. And later, in a few moments, when I hand you your diplomas, It'll be one of my moments.
Our speaker today is a graduate of Chelmsford High School. He was an honor roll student, and he competed on the debate team. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Providence College in 1981, where he earned Dean's List honors, worked at the student radio station, and interned at Rhode Island State House. He has had an exciting career beginning as a producer for an all-news radio station in Providence, Rhode Island. In 1981, he began writing for the Providence Journal, and he covered both the New England Patriots and the Boston Bruins. In 1989, he became the paper's principal Boston Red Sox beat writer and was twice named Rhode Island Sports Writer of the Year. In 2008, he left the Providence Journal after 23 years to join the staff of the Boston Herald as a baseball columnist. That same year, he left ESPN.com to become a weekly national baseball columnist for FoxSports.com. Recently, he led the Boston Herald to work as a baseball analyst for Comcast Sportsnet New England. He's also a regular volunteer and contributor to the annual Jimmy Fund Radiothon and Telethon. He's traveled widely, and he's covered the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 Super Bowls, and 15 World Series. His mother, Dolores, has been a Chelmsford resident since 1955 and was a crucial member of the school district where she served in the CHS Guidance Office and the Superintendent's Office. It is my pleasure to welcome back to our district, Sean McAdams.
Thank you, Dr. Yeoman, Principal O'Brien, members of the school committee, town officials, administrators, teachers, parents, family members, friends, and finally, graduates of the class of 2010. Before we begin, I'd like to kind of make a deal with you. It's hot. There's a lot of bugs. It's already rained twice. My suit is soaking wet, and quite obviously, I don't care what my hair looks like at this point. So, you can chuckle at the laugh lines and clap at the applause lines, and we can get through this pretty quickly, or you can be kind of quiet and not respond, and I can slow this thing to a crawl. So do we have a deal? All right. Let me start by saying that this is a privilege and an honor. Chelmsford is my hometown, and I too graduated from this very school in 1977 as part of the first class to spend its entire high school career at what was then, if you can believe this, the new Chelmsford High School. To this day, I am proud to be a native of Chelmsford, and you should be the same. And I am proud to be an alumnus of Chelmsford High, and you should be proud that you will be too. So please, give yourself a hand this evening. You're all to be congratulated for completing your 4 years at CHS. That took plenty of hard work, lots of dedication, and probably at times more than a little Red Bull. But I have some sobering news for you. You'll notice that in your programs, this is not actually a graduation, but rather a commencement. In other words, this isn't the completion of anything. Instead, it's a beginning, a start, a commencement. You may be graduating from high school, but the rest of your life is just beginning. There are no more classes for you to attend here, no more assignments to complete, but your real education is just getting started. And forgive me for a moment if I sound like some of your parents, but the truth is this: You all have a lot to learn still. The track just on the other side of the bleachers that surrounds this field tonight, if you're thinking that you've crossed the finish line, you have not. You have merely cleared the first hurdle. And if that sounds like more homework, it shouldn't. Think of it as an invitation. This building over here has changed a great deal since 1977, and the world around it has changed even more. The textbooks have changed, but believe it or not, some of the teachers that I had still remain. That's a good thing, I think. Can you believe that 33 years ago we somehow survived without cell phones, without texting, without Facebook, without Twitter? It's amazing we made it through. Now, social media is an integral part of our everyday lives. We update our status on Facebook, and sometimes on Twitter, we are asked, "What are you doing?" And that is what I ask all of you tonight. What are you doing? Not tonight, or at graduation parties with friends later or family tomorrow, or this summer on vacation. I mean, what are you doing with the rest of your life? It's a scary question to consider, with the economy slumping and college costs soaring, and it's an even tougher one to answer. But don't worry, this is not a pop quiz, just something to think about. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't have my own answers in the summer of 1977 when I sat out there. I only thought I did. I'd been accepted to Providence College and planned to major in political science. Since 1981, I've been involved in the media in virtually every aspect and medium: radio, newspaper, TV, and the internet. I've covered sports all over the United States and Canada, and the Caribbean, and as far away as Japan. I've had the unusual task of asking half-dressed athletes, fresh out of the shower, why it was they missed a ground ball in the bottom of the ninth inning. Some, I understand, might not see that as a career selling point. I've watched the Red Sox play in 43 different major league ballparks, in 17 states and 4 countries. I've watched them win not 1, but 2 World Series in the span of 4 years. An experience my father, a lifelong Red Sox fan, missed out on in his 74 years. And to the surprise of many, myself included, I got paid to do it. I really have been quite fortunate. In that sense, I never did put my degree to use, since I never worked in politics or government. But never have I felt that my college degree was a waste. There are things I learned in college that I utilize every day. College is not 4 years of job training. Don't go to college because you want a job, although that surely is a goal at the end. Go to college to learn how to think, and to learn how to think for yourself, and to learn more about yourself. Some of you are not headed to college. Some of you may be going to technical school or directly into the workforce, and in that sense, you are getting a head start in the real world. I don't profess to have all the answers. In fact, in all candor, I'm not sure at this point that I know all the questions yet, as my own children will readily confirm. But tradition dictates that I offer some advice tonight, a guidebook to the real world, as it were. You don't have to take notes, but here goes. Number 1, keep an open mind. You may be certain that you know exactly what it is you wish to do with your life, and if that's the case, congratulations, you're way ahead of schedule. But keep in mind, plans change. Perhaps circumstances will intervene and change your plans for you. Be open to new opportunities. Be willing to try new things. You never know when something good will happen to you. You just might, as I did, marry the love of your life at the age of 46, or be offered the best job you've ever had at the age of 50. Number 2, don't be afraid to follow your own course. In the coming weeks and months, you'll get plenty of advice from parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and older brothers and sisters. Listen to them, be respectful of their opinion. They mean well. But ultimately, only you can decide what you want to do. Don't feel pressured into doing something everyone else is going to do. You have to be happy. And to this point, remember the saying, find something you love to do, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. It may not seem like it now, with the last summer vacation beckoning, but work has its own rewards. Don't let it define you, allow it to enrich you. Some of you may go on to become doctors or lawyers, some of you may learn a trade. Some, perhaps, inspired by those who helped you here, may teach. Some may own your own business, some may never be their own boss. But there are any number of fields that you may find rewarding. If you don't find them on your own, however, you'll always be doing something else, you'll always be doing something someone else chose for you. Be patient with yourself. Life is not a race. It may take you some time to get to where you want to go. If you're off to college, be prepared to be overwhelmed. Understand that there will be times when you feel that you can't do the work, won't pass the course, aren't going to graduate. Take a deep breath and understand that there isn't a college graduate in the land who hasn't experienced the very same emotions. Be prepared, too, to be at least once homesick. There will be times when nagging parents and meddlesome younger brothers and sisters will be missed, when being back in Chelmsford is the thing you want most. These feelings, too, will pass. If you're starting off in the workforce, the feelings will be much the same. There will be times when you feel inadequate, incompetent, and underappreciated. This is not a sign of failure, it's a sign you're becoming an adult. And finally, one word. About a year ago, I watched Bruce Springsteen honored at the Kennedy Center, recognized for his artistry and contributions. Comedian Jon Stewart introduced him with a humorous speech that noted the differences and similarities in their New Jersey upbringings and imagined Bruce as the illegitimate son of Bob Dylan and James Brown. But then Stewart hit on a point, a single word which better captures the spirit of Bruce's music, better than any rock critic, better than any cultural commentator, better, I suspect, than even Bruce himself. Stewart said Springsteen's music was more than anything about yearning. And it's true. The music speaks to working on your dream, finding your place in the world, maximizing your potential. In the movie The Graduate, the young Benjamin Braddock, played by Dustin Hoffman, is given one word of advice from a well-meaning guest at his parents' home. It's Benjamin's graduation party, much like some of the ones you'll have this weekend, and a family friend tells him that he has the answer to everything. I just want to say one word to you, Mr. McGuire tells Benjamin. Just one word. Are you listening? Benjamin tells him that he is. Plastics. That's it, plastics. He wanted Benjamin to work in the plastics industry as he did. At the time of the movie's release in 1967, it was an ode to the upheaval that was taking place in this country about rejecting conformity and turning away from the establishment's expectations. My message isn't as radical. Borrowing from Jon Stewart and Mr. McGuire, as filtered through Bruce Springsteen, I have some advice of my own. One word, yearn. Yearn to be the best. Don't settle. Don't compromise. Don't give up. Yearn to find the love of your life, the calling of your life, the work that is so rewarding that it doesn't feel like work at all. Yearn to be great, to help others, to create, whether it be a business or a piece of art. Yearn to make a contribution to your community, to your family. Yearn to achieve, to maximize your potential, to make an impact. I asked you when we began, what are you doing? Now, I ask the logical follow-up. What are you waiting for? Get started. In school, in work, in love, and in life. Congratulations once again to the Chelmsford High Class of 2010. May you be successful in everything you do. Thank you and good luck.
Sean, if you would come forward. You may be a graduate of the class of 1977, but you are an honorary member of the class of 2010, and that's the best class of all. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. If I could have our valedictorian, David Kudo, please come to the podium.
Thank you, Ms. O'Brien. This week has been quite an interesting experience. Senior banquet, great. Senior barbecue, great. Prom, spectacular. Anthony Murphy screaming at a crowded room in made-up Japanese, possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen. And getting to DJ at senior banquet with Venkata, something I'll remember for the rest of my life. But, honestly, it can't really be senior year. And it doesn't feel like we've had senior week yet. I must be sleeping right now. Sooner or later, I'll wake up and I'll be that awkward little kid with the buzz cut and the striped collared shirt. And it's gonna be 4 years ago. And I'm going to get ready to get on the bus and go to my first day of high school and get lost while trying to go to art class. It's been a ride. One that started out when we weren't driving the car. Way back when the kids from the other middle school were those odd strangers you don't know. Something happened though. Now you only need one hand to count the kids in our class that you don't know. That something was high school. Not the building, the experience. I mean, 3 years of looking up to the classes older than you, 3 years of teaching the classes younger than you what to do, and 4 years of bonding with the kids in the best class you'll ever get to know. You even got that 1 year of being a senior, #1 and on top of the world, unless you're from the class of 2010, in which you're #1 twice. Tuberculosis, bomb threats, the Super Bowl, the girls swimming and diving team's unmatched perfection, the competition plays state title, the list goes on and on, as why we are like family. We have the sleepy ones, Derek Chang. The one in the big blue puffy coat that likes to argue a lot. One that likes to ride around on rollerblades with a big maroon Lions flag while singing Fergalicious. And a guy with a guitar that taught us all to love that crazy game of poker. It's odd to hear us called family, but the kids in the class of 2010 genuinely like one another. We grew up together, and we are like a family. There's no other way of saying it, and no span of time long enough to say everything possible that comes to mind. It's hard to think that that car ride's coming to an end, though. And once we go to a stop, we have to take over and drive. College and finding a job, those two ominous juggernauts on the horizon, where the strangers from other schools and other countries are coming too. Sounds like something we kind of got 4 years ago when CHS was the impasse we were faced with. I think the next stage in life is something we're probably up to. But what now? We are driving that car and have found a job, are in college, or are following some other passive life. What do we do? It's time to take care of ourselves and do what makes us happy. Up until this point, we have been taught how to think, taught what is right and what is wrong. We have been hit over the head with consequences, and we have had personal victories, but we have never stopped growing and changing. Well, that growth is slowing, and we are becoming the people who we become for the rest of our lives. Happiness, that's the final part that we have to get to. It's something that our friends won't be with us with. They'll be new, and the environment different. The groups of friends we always tried to please in the past no longer pass judgment. We're now free to think for ourselves. Cliques have disappeared in the real world and in college. It's an individual working to make his or her life better and happier. And we cannot succeed at either if we live solely to please a particular group. The question is, how do I make myself happy? That's a very difficult question to answer, and not a problem any scientist can dream up an equation to answer. Everyone is different. Some bloom early and find happiness right away, and others have to take the scenic route. Find those things that you truly love and run with them. But remember, you may not know what those are yet. I think in terms of numbers and arrows some of the time. And solving a good physics problem or building a large catapult in my backyard is exactly what I need. Other times my mind speaks to me in dance lingo. Life is about breakdancing. The worm, the six-step, the windmill. Most of you probably think I'm a little odd, and here I'm going to quote Danica Breton. David, you are the biggest dork I have ever met. I used to be kind of ashamed to be a nerd, and I don't really know why. It's who I am, and it makes me happy. What else do I need? Nothing. Remember, the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Success comes to every person in a different way. You might be the early bird, always prepared and obtaining happiness quickly. Or you might be the second mouse, who waited and observed the situation and learned from another mistake. And then you were happy. Speaking of mistakes, they will be made. Then again, how can one succeed without a slip-up here and there? After almost 16 years of conscious memory, I finally accepted the only way I learn is through fault. I usually learn the wrong way to do something before I honestly believe the right way is best. And I know a lot of people that can relate to that idea. A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Albert Einstein. Don't look to do wrong purposefully. That probably would not be the best thing to tell you right now. But when mistakes do happen, and they will, don't let them bring you down. Make sure you take something from it, though. For example, a man who carries a cat by the tail sometimes can learn to do sometimes he can learn to do something he won't any other way. Don't carry a cat by the tail. Mark Twain. Set a goal and see that dream through to completion. If it's to finish college, go to grad school, buy your first house, be kind to every single person you meet, like Ryan Wallace and Taylor Tobin. Or even someday, buy that Bugatti. Live life to be happy. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not people or things. Albert Einstein's words of wisdom yet again. And once your goal is reached, set a new one and stay happy. Once you're happy, you're free to do anything, and you'll feel great about doing it. There you have it, happiness. 9 letters in such a common word. But really, it means everything. It means being the person that you want to be, and not the one your friends want you to be. It means being successful in everything you do. And even if it's not success by society's definition, it will sure feel like it is. Happiness, felicidad, bonheur, lebe, onerisus. Sensational words, all meaning the same thing, all created by mankind to explain the same feeling of completeness. Happiness. Thank you, Ms. O'Brien, Dean Doherty, Galante, and LaCava, and our school administration for all that you have done for us. Mr. Thomas, for being an unforgettable principal for the first 3 years of our high school experience. Our teachers and guidance counselors for dragging us through the rough patches, even when we didn't want to be helped along. I know I have been downstream without a paddle, and Mr. Caminos is the one that got me out. Thank you, class reps. Thank you, Mr. Blagg and Ms. Haywood, for being the best advisors we could have asked for. Thank you, parents and guardians, for not giving up on us boisterous teenagers. Honestly, we wouldn't be here without you. And finally, thank you, Emily, Becca, Connor, Shima, and Kevin, for the best senior year the class of 2010 could have asked for. I honestly don't know whether I'm actually awake or not right now, and if I'm going to wake up and head off to my first day of high school. If I do, I kind of hope it goes exactly the way these past 4 years have. Because the class of 2010 is my family, and one of the greatest classes to ever pass through the doors of CHS. You guys didn't seem too excited to hear that. I said the class of 2010 is the most exceptional class to pass through the doors of Chelmsford High School. My name is David Kudo, and I would like to be your official dork of the class of 2010. Let's graduate.
Tommy, so I've got to push this.
Ashley Renee Abeta. Rebecca Elizabeth Adams. Katerina Eleni Antonio. Kayla Marie Ball. Jacqueline Marie Bentley. Rebecca Lynn Bebo. Marjorie Ann Bonanno. Cassie Lynn Burdett. Ann Elizabeth Cassidy. DeConti Che. Shannon Marie Daly. Laura Grace Damon. Michelle Victoria DeBiz. Amelia Ryan Emerson. Rachel Georgia Fairbanks. Emma Elizabeth Foley. Emily Ann Francisco. Olivia Grace Gentile. Elizabeth Ann Glennon. Paige Elizabeth Heffernan. Laura Ann Herman. Kritika Shrikant Hoser. Cynthia S.Y. Huang. Lauren Teresa Jean. Alikia Karparapu. Carolyn Rita Kozeski. Kimberly Joan Kuda. Brianna Lee LaCroix. Alexandria Lattimore. Chelsea Erin Leonard. Taylor Grace Loafman. Jacqueline Kathleen Martin. Zara Mazur. Katie Elizabeth McKenna. Kristen Caroline McLeod. Kristen Marie Morrissey. Bridget Cecilia Murphy. Michaela Rachel Nargi. Brittany Paige Noonan. Jamie Lynn O'Brien. Casey Lynn O'Keefe. Stephanie Opibo. Samantha Ann Pindara. Cecilia Reynoso. Laura Sastre. Lindsay Eleanor Shanahan. Amy Gason Samboon. Jocelyn Renee Stabile. Kerry Elizabeth Sweeney. Taylor Cecilia Tobin. Kelsey Margaret Trullo. Vanessa Jordan Valeri. Michelle Ashley Weigel. Allison Elizabeth Welch. Angela Claire Wren. Jacqueline Claire Albert. Courtney Elizabeth Arno. Shamiram Ann Barujian. Elizabeth Ann Bigger. Susanna Tay Bischoff. Kelsey Marie Boudreau. Jennifer Lee Bowley. Danica Ann Breton. Mary Ellen Elizabeth Bricky. Katie Lee Brewell. Kelsey Ann Brewell. Jillian Elizabeth Bungard. Jessica Grace Cabral. Jessica Lynn Carboni. Casey Camille Chilton. Taylor Renee Donovan. Taylor Fahey Engdahl. Shelby Ann Flannery. Catherine Constance Gagnon. Emily Thaxter Gardner. Eleanor Rose Garvey. Paige Marie Gillette. Brandy Noel House. Erica Lauren Hughes. Sanyukta Rajendra Inamdar. McKaylee Terry Joy. Heidi Eleni Kalajarakos. Christina Kent. Anna Kowalczyk. Lauren Elizabeth Lautenschlager. Catherine Elizabeth Lewis. Sheila H. Moran. Shema H. Moran. Christina Elizabeth Martin. Samantha Nicole Mayotte. Christina Marie McCarran. Melanie Reed McCullough. Nicole Elaine Murphy. Shilpa Raghu Nair. Hannah Grace Neal. Valerie Ann North. Anna Maria Helen Otto. Kayla Elizabeth Pelland. Alexa Angela Piacenza. Lauren Elizabeth Porter. Ashley Marie Reed. Erica Ann Reed. Katie Lee Robinson. Larissa Ann Ruggiero. Lindsay Joyce Sargent. Taylor Lee Scanlon. Olivia Mary Scrivani. Sarah Ellen Shanahan. Kaylee Ann Shea. Kelsey Lynn Sheridan. Emma Ann Shipley. Julianne Simard. Maria Yuryevna Solodilova. Kimberly Ann Stevens. Amanda Elizabeth Tyne. Anarita Tracana. Shannon Marie Vogler. Catherine Elizabeth Williams. Deanna Laura Witz. Michelle Marie Woodward. Tammy Marie Adams. Maria Victoria Alcano. Meva Amarje. Andrea Christina Baldock. Chelsea Elizabeth Britt. Caroline Ann Casey. Sarah Johanna Camo. Jacqueline Rose DeBerardinis. Michelle Lynn Doherty. Justina Ann Doris. Amanda Joan Fagan. Laura Jean Fahey. Anne Victoria Frascarelli. Daisha Lee Frechette. Danielle Alice Fusconi. Jasmine Kaur Gandhi. Gina Maria Gaspari. Kelsey Marie Goodridge. Dana Marie Harris. Kathleen Haverty Hain. Alyssa Marie Hennigan. Catherine Rose Hewlett. Vanita Danielle Cocao. Wanjiko Wa Kungo. Jessica Pauline Landry. Renee Serafina Larson. Amy Faith Lawrence. Olivian Ellis Lawrence. Amanda Lee. Chantal Florence LeBlanc. Danielle Marion Lucier. Kayla Ann MacDonald. Samantha Erin Main. Brittany Erin Mullaney. Sneha Suhas Marate. Jenny Lee Elizabeth Mark. Carlene Paula McGuigan. Rebecca Lindsay McLeod. Erin Aileen McNamara. Kristen Lee Melanson. Jillian Francis Montori. Lindsay Marie Murphy. Megan Olivia Novaco. Sharon Akinyi Ochola. Sayuri Okano. Julia Patricia Osborne. Shandana Venkat Penukonda. Megan Kathleen Pierce. Christine Lee Powell. Julia Grace Richardson. Kelly Ann Robinson. Yui Sakurai. Bethany Jean Sarika. Siobhan Mary Scarfo. Danielle Ann Sementelli. Tina Babesh Shah. Iris Eileen Shu. Karen Wenyan Shu. Kristen Nicole Samard. Marielle Taylor Smith. Gwendolyn Mary Strafer. Nicole Ruth Sullivan. Emily Carol Taverna. Alexandra Paige Tien. Ashley Eileen Thomas. Michelle Genevieve White. Jessica Alexandra Alice Williams. Rebecca Elizabeth Wong. Michael Thomas Adams. Connor James Adley. James George Allard Jr. Eric John Arnold. Philip Johannes Bailey. Michael John Balzotti. Scott Philip Bellingary. Jeffrey William Bentley. Scott Thomas Boyko. Eric Edward Brown. Kyle James Buckley. Justin Douglas Burns. Derek Chang. Timothy Jack Chevalier. Sean Michael Connerty. Joshua Michael Coombs. David Edwin Kudo. James Daniel Dawson. Andrew Michael Descharnes. David Mark DePanfilo. Jean-Paul Charles Doran. Keegan Patrick Donaher. Brian Campion Donahue. Michael Robert Donahue Jr. Krishna Das. Thomas James Draymond. James Daniel Grayson Elmore. Stephen Andrew Erskine. Kyle Edward Fletcher. Kyler Douglas Gallant. Patrick Timothy Gallant. Ryan David Gosselin. Austin Edward Graham. Cody Allen Grassi. Ian Duncan Graves. Ryan Gregory Hamilton. Philip Jason Hartman. Robert William Howard. John Joseph Iannelli. David William Lavoie. Colson Robert Leary. Joshua Andrew Lombardi. Zachary Thomas Ludwig. Anthony Ugo Macchia. Peter Malcolm McKinnon. David Foster Mansfield. Christopher Andrew Motti. Michael Sebastian McCullough. David Joseph Mello. Alexander George Mihalka. Chris David Mountcastle. Nikhil Jitendra Nathwani. Nicholas Christian Omobono. Robert James Paletta. Christopher Paul Pedersen. Daniel Joseph Phillips. Mark David Quimby Jr. Michael Thomas Rache. Jeffrey Christian Reynolds. Craig Stephen Robertson. Dominic Anthony Russo. Fadi Nabil Sidhom. Ryan Thomas Skinner. Cameron John Spanos. Preston Richard Steele. David Thomas Stuzinski. Brandon Joseph Selesky. Griffin Norris Thayer. Alec Christopher Tice. Nickerson Tran. Matthew George Whippen. Michael Vincent Whippen. Ryan Joseph Hooley. Connor Henry Wilkins. Spencer Allen Winters. Matthew Joseph Albert. George Armando Barnes. Jeffrey David Buckley. Benjamin Thomas Carpenter. Jeffrey Michael Collins. Cody Darren Cossette. Jason John Paul Dudon. Andrew Ryan Donaher. Connor William Dowling. Brandon Nicholas Dumas. Douglas Bradford Emerson. David Edwards Ferreira. Andrew David Friziello. Philip Patrick Gallant. John Allen Gerhardt. Jacob Warren Gonsalves. Joseph Thomas Green, Jr. Sean Michael Harrington. Matthew James Hartung. Aaron Paul Hemingway. Eric Joseph Hughes. Andrew Michael Jackson. Dennis Paul Jeffrey Jr. Rikimaru Kataoka. Evan Joseph Kerr. Daniel Joseph Kruglak. Matthew Chi Young Lee. Matthew Richard Linehan. Brian Daniel MacDonald. Alexander Lauren Sylvester Marsh. Michael Patrick McDonald. Kevin William McGinty. Alexander Stephen McInerney. Douglas J. Meppelink. George Michael Misherfi. Trevor Christian Morency. Rangeley Drew Morton. Matthew Thomas O'Connell. Kyle Thomas O'Neill. Michael David Parnell. Elliot Anthony Petrosino. Daniel Dung Thai Pho. Connor Patrick Riga. Daniel Thomas Ruggiero Jr. Abdul Samad. Venkata Ravi Satyam. Nathaniel Miles Schmiedehouse. Benjamin Weston Smith. Stephen Robert Susi. Patrick Ryan Story. Brad William Swenson. Nicholas William Thayer. Kevin James Twitchell. Leo Donald Vahey. Michael Herbert Varley Barrett. Jared Allen Walters. Robert Edward Webb II. David Jack Westland. Corey Hank Zwart. Michael Weston Aronian. Kurt Michael Baltier. John Joseph Baraldi. Jonathan Lawrence Burke. Evan James Boaker. David Edward Baroyan. John Michael Breen. Alexander Jordan Brigham. Brett Michael Case. Brandon Bettner Chadwick. Niles John Champeau. Stephen Gayton Chenard. Cato Gaiting Chung. Brian Francis Cote. Alexander Kenneth DeFreitas. Garrett Allen Burgess. Harley Stone DeMassey. Richard Hodnett DeCecca. Timothy Raymond Doherty. Nathaniel Michael Egan. Matthew Joseph Thomas Flynn. Richard Paul Gaffney III. Melvin Jimmy Glover. Matthew David Gregoire. Eric Norman Hamer. Justin Patrick Harridan. Patrick Manuel Hosepian. Gregory Bradford Jump. Kyle Richard Kelsey. Gio Wu Kersey. Zachary Vincent Ladwig. Kevin Lee. Joshua Colburn Martin. Keith Joseph Martine. Anthony Michael Murphy. David Joseph Najam. Ayman Michael Najam. David Brandon Ing. Jeffrey Charles Noyes. Dennis Andrew Poroyan. Brandon Christopher Reedy. Thomas Michael Reese. Kevin Thomas Roach. Patrick Michael Rose. James William Ryan. Raymond William Van Loo. Jared Alexander Velasquez. Ryan Patrick Wallace. William John Warren. Shane William Waterman. Curtis Matthew Whitman. Brandon Dennis Williamson. Michael William Weinkoop. President of the class of 2010, Kevin Michael Tang.
Graduates, turn tassel!
go bring it up. The boxes are in the hallway.